So welcome everyone. This is Hocking Valley Community Hospital, and in 2021 we started celebrating our 55th anniversary here at the hospital. So one of the things we wanted to do was offer 55 opportunities for ways for you to get better, some wellness opportunities. We're going to do 4 different tiers to that. We'll do physical, financial, spiritual, and emotional. So throughout the year, you're going to be able to have some opportunities to tune in, look at some ways to maybe better yourself. This today is the second one in our series. So with me today is Katy Kudlapur. Welcome. And someone kind of dropped a bug in our ear that she had really enhanced her life a little bit, had done some different things over the past year or so. And so going to learn a little bit about her life story maybe, and she's going to provide some opportunities for us to maybe take a look at ourselves, inner and outer, and maybe there'll be some ways that we can become a better me as well. So welcome again, Katy. I don't know if there's something that you want to just kind of start sharing first, and then I have 4 questions that I kind of like to ask. If we get to all 4, we will. If not, we're okay. So, because you'll be back with us each month, so we'll be able to kind of keep a dialogue going on here. So welcome, and I'll turn it over to you for a minute.
Oh, thank you, Latricia. It's just such an honor to be here. I'm excited about the 55th year of the hospital. I'm a registered nurse and have spent a lot of years working there at Hocking Valley Community Hospital, both as a registered nurse and a certified diabetes educator. In the last year and a half, I have started health coaching and working with different clients to help them accomplish what they want in their health. So I have made some positive changes in my health by getting into structure. And I'm just excited to be able to share a bit with the community and be here today.
Good. Well, thank you. I'm just as excited after the year we've all just kind of come through. I think we're all kind of open to any suggestions someone might have to help us move forward maybe and just kind of look at some different things differently in life. So new year 2021, and I want to start off with the new me. Where do I begin? Just kind of give us a high level maybe overview, or where would I begin?
Yes. Well, January is a great month for motivation. By and large, people are often very motivated in the month of January to make resolutions or set goals. But really, the core here is asking yourself, what do you want to create? What do you want in your health, and why? And it's good to write that down on paper and then challenge that why into layers. Like, why maybe I want to have more energy. Why do I want to have more energy? And write that down. And then, well, why that? Well, why that? And get deeper with your reason why that you want to make a change. Because as life marches on and life happens, that why will be challenged. And we need to before we can set up a plan, really working with our mindset. And when I say work on creating what you want to create, more so from what you're trying to run from or get away from. Because when we let's say I want to lose 5 pounds because my jeans don't fit. Often if I just focus on that, when I reach that 5 pounds, I'm satisfied and I don't necessarily continue a healthy habit. But if we challenge our why and really let yourself see what you want to create, it gives you momentum to continue to work towards the positive changes you start to make. So figure out why and really challenge your mindset. I would say that is the first thing to begin.
Okay. So, and I don't know if I really would call this like a program that we would be doing or such, but I know a lot of times at the beginning of the year, like you mentioned, people might want to lose 5 pounds, or they might want to start an exercise program. Typically, there's a cost involved in that. With this kind of structure that you're talking about, is there an expectation of, do you think we'll be spending money? Is there an investment? What can I anticipate?
That is such a good question, because often we don't necessarily question things. We spend money on if our tire goes flat, we repair the car. If we need to see the doctor, and sometimes often we pay those co-pays, and we pay for our medication, and we don't necessarily question those kind of things. We pay when we go out to eat. So yes, often there is a cost involved in getting what we want. But when it comes to our health and making positive changes in our health, what things line up with your vision? What lines up with what you want to create with your health? And kind of look around, explore what different programs might line up with that goal. And there may be some cost, but usually if people or programs are there to help you, they are earning a living as well. And so that might be something to expect. I encourage people to think through, what is your budget? What are you willing to spend to maybe work on your health goal? And then what are you willing maybe to give up? Because it doesn't always have to cost more. Maybe you are willing to spend X amount of dollars, and you're willing to maybe give some things up that you're currently spending. Maybe you don't need the top of the line DirecTV package, because instead of sitting in front of the TV, you're going to be maybe moving a little bit more. Instead of bringing in maybe some of the typical junk food into the house, maybe you're going to decrease the amount of things you're bringing into the house. So analyze your budget, see what you're willing to spend, and then line up a program that is going to help you meet your goals and support you. And I would say, in addition to that, many programs offer free resources. And we are kind of fortunate coming out of the pandemic that there are many things online that are free. Some programs that may have a cost attached to it still offer certain parts of that program free. So that would probably be the first thing, is utilize the free resources. There's free apps, there are newsletters, there are websites, there are exercise programs that are free, that help line up with what you are wanting to create. I would start there, and then narrow in on what you're willing to spend.
Okay. So another question I kind of thought that I would ask you today is, sometimes it's tough if you are the only person in a household and you decide to make this life change. For example, I'm vegetarian, so I live with a family of hunters, meat eaters, fishermen, everything is all about meat. And so when I fix a vegetarian meal, they're not so happy. And it can be very difficult for me to prepare something just for myself and then prepare enough for everyone else that, has the proteins in it. So thinking about this program as well, how do I convince myself that, or, our listeners today, that I can do this, they can do this, if it's just me in the home who's deciding to make this decision and this choice? Where do you get that affirmation? Where do you get that strength and that courage? And are there tools and certain pointers that we need every day to keep ourselves accountable for one thing, and coming back to the table and coming back, with, I did this yesterday, and maybe you have some insight there just from the experiences that you've accomplished.
Yes, and that is so true. By and large, we love the people that we live with and enjoy their company, but we're still individuals. We still have our own aspirations and goals. And maybe you're thinking to yourself that, there are some things I want to accomplish. Maybe it is a healthier weight goal, or maybe it's to increase your energy or your strength. And I would encourage you to spend that time on your own first. Think through what is it that you are wanting to set out to do and accomplish, and then have a talk with your family members or the people in the house, and and just tell them what you're wanting to do and why you want to do it. And then maybe a key is what's in it for them. What is in it for them if you start to feel healthier, if you start to have more energy, if you are able to start to create and attain what you view as making you happy in your health, and maybe what you and your healthcare provider have recommended, maybe has recommended for you to get to. What's in it for your family? And help them see that to help gain their support. Second of all, I would work on your surroundings. I know I work with people whose family doesn't want to change themselves, and maybe they keep the junk food around, and or the items that they don't necessarily want. And I have seen people be able to maybe create one cupboard for themselves, one shelf in the refrigerator, and maybe keep some things in their office space, just so that they can stay focused on their goal. And then with meals, sharing meals, you can still create a healthy meal to share with everyone. And then maybe, and I, like in your case, I don't know that you would create maybe a meat for them, but maybe that's something that you could compromise, because communication is key. When we assume, we start to create a lot of negativity in our minds. And just communicate maybe how you can compromise with what you want to bring to the table to share. And if they are wanting something else, that they create themselves, or if it's something that you're comfortable with fixing and having at the table, but not necessarily eating. So create your surroundings, your space, clear your space, have your space, communicate with your family, and then compromise with what you're willing to put on the table and share. And then continue to work on that. It's not one and done. This is a relationship with people you're living with, and help bring about positive and communicate that you want this to be a positive experience. And often positivity will win out, but it may take some self-talk, pointing to your focus of what you're wanting to create, and let your secondary decisions line up behind that. And just keep them involved, keep affirming them. And yeah, it's going to take a little more out of you, but that is working towards a positive goal.
Okay, thank you for that. And thank you for joining us. Again, as I want to remind everyone, Katy's going to be back with us monthly to kind of keep encouraging us, keep giving us some instructions, some guidance. Between now and then, maybe you have some last minute or a last thought for today, Katy, that you would want to share. I don't know if there's something you want to tell us to kind of do between now and February, or just some last minute pointers. You may or may not. You might want to share some extra things, or you might want to just surprise us each month. I don't know, but I want to open this back up to you for just our closing comments today.
Yes, I would love to again, encourage you to work on your mindset, and then create a skill set of making a SMART goal. And SMART goals are specific and measurable and achievable, relevant, and time sensitive. So I would say between now and when we meet again, start to write out what you want to create in your health, and make some specific and measurable goals around that, and make it emotional. Get emotional with it, because when you can see what you want to create, you can see what you want to be wearing, who you want to be celebrating with, what can you do better in that new health state. When you can start to really personalize that and make that real, then the energy starts to line up behind that, and you will set yourself in, forming a community around you. And I would say that's very helpful. whether that's virtual, online, or hopefully soon opening up to being with people that have like-minded goals to help support you. So I would say start with that with your mindset, so that we can get into action. And it's going to be a good year. We're going to make it that way.
It is going to be a great year. Like you said, after the one we just come through, it has to be better. And I think reminding ourselves that any little adjustment we do to ourselves is better than nothing. So just starting with the goals, that is beautiful. I think that is an absolute perfect point. So thank you, Katy, for joining us today. Looking forward to you being with us again on a kind of consistent basis this year to, again, yes, reassure us and help guide us. So, and listeners, watchers today, thank you for joining us. Just a reminder that every week we're going to be bringing something to you. Some weeks we'll have multiple ones, since we're doing actually 55 opportunities this year. So follow us on Facebook. You might see Katy with some extra points throughout the month or something she might just want to show. And same way with our other programs, a reminder, it's spiritual, physical, emotional, and financial. So join us each week. And thank you again, Katy.
Thank you, Latricia.